happy Friday. I have quite the setup going on here. I want to talk to you a little bit today about how to cut fabric with your cutting machine, which is why I am trying to get all of this in one shot. And if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go back behind this table so we can start with the very beginning of cutting fabric, and then we're going to move over to the heat press, and you'll see why in a few minutes, and then I'm going to go back and cut, and we'll get all the way there. All right, so I'm sorry that I'm a little far away. Hopefully you can hear me. Okay, so a couple things why you want to cut fabric, because it's totally awesome. So this is just one example of something that I cut. It's a little cover for my mint, and actually I have both this free download for this mint wrap as well as the cover on the blog. Okay, but what we are going to talk about today is cutting things with and without. This is a little zebra I cut out of this fabric a few minutes ago. We're going to go through the same thing again. Okay, so a couple things with fabric. You need to have the right tools. So Material Magic is a great stabilizer. I got all this fabric, you can see it's all zebra, from my mom, because my mom sews. She makes these pillow covers for children in the children's hospital, which is why she must have made one zebra themed, which is why I have zebra scraps. But I can barely sew a straight line. So, and if you're commenting, I can't read that far, I'm sorry. But a couple things you need. Obviously your fabric, you need Material Magic, because what Material Magic does is it stiffens the fabric. Okay, so this is the fabric originally, this is the fabric before you're ready to cut. And then you can go one step further and add like a heat and bond or another type of stabilizer that can then be pressed on. I'm using all the wrong terms because I'm not a sewer. So we're gonna talk about all of that. Okay, so I also need a much larger table to work. And I have a trash can here, I'm not throwing stuff on the floor. Okay, so first things first, let's get some of this out of the way. You're gonna take your fabric and cut off a piece however big you want, okay? And then get a freezer bag and place the fabric in the bag, okay? And then you are just going to squirt, squirt, squirt in the bag until you saturate the fabric, okay? You really wanna make sure that the whole piece of fabric is wet, like that, okay? Then you are going to let it sit flat out, if you can, like just kind of hang out for like a good 10 or 15 minutes. Mine's been doing that. Believe me, it took me that long to get all this set up. Okay, then you are going to go over to your heat press, and this is where I'm going to take you right now, okay? And I'm going to show you two ways to do this. So the first thing that you want to do is place your fabric on your press. I think it's best to put a Teflon sheet above, like basically fold your fabric in the middle, okay? So that the fabric doesn't end up sticking to the top plate. And what you want to do is you want to dry it out. This may take you a couple of tries, okay? A couple of attempts to get it completely dry. All right, you can see this has started to dry, but it's not nearly stiff enough. So you're going to keep doing that until your fabric gets like this, okay? And don't worry, that this fabric you can see the Material Magic stuff on there a little bit. Where am I? But it washes out. The Material Magic itself washes out. Okay, so now you have two options. If you do not need to adhere the fabric to anything, or you're going to sew it and you don't want any type of like adhesive on the back, then skip the heat and bond. You can cut it just like this. Your second option is to add, because this is not an adhesive. The Material Magic is not an adhesive. It is literally just a stabilizer to help you cut. It turns the fabric more into like a paper type material, making it really easy to cut. If you want to go the other route and you're going to then apply, say you're going to put this little zebra that you cut onto a shirt and you want to just be able to iron it on there, then you do need to put your heat and bond on the back, and that's what I'm going to show you now. So, Material Magic already on here. Heat and bond goes on the back, and you're going to apply it again. This doesn't take very long, like 5-8 seconds, okay? You just want it to be on there. Not very long at all, okay? All right, now, you want to trim this down so that the whole piece has the heat and bond on the back, okay? And then, can you see me? Okay, good. Okay, and then what you're gonna do, if you're doing the heat and bond method, is you're gonna peel the paper backing off, okay? So that when you cut, now you've got the shiny part on there, the adhesive, but you're taking the paper backing off. And you're gonna apply that, place that right on your cutting mat, okay? Now I am throwing things on the floor. Okay, so I'm putting that right on my cutting mat, and you wanna make sure that it's on there really well, okay? All right, so it's not going anywhere. All right, let me go back behind my table. Okay, now, before you cut, you want to make sure that you're using a fabric blade, which is this blue blade. It looks like a ratchet blade. This is essentially like your shears, where you're only going to use it for fabric, okay? This is the same as a ratchet blade, except in a different casing, so that you remember that it's for fabric, okay? In Silhouette Studio, especially if you're cutting with a Cameo 3, when you tell it that when you choose the material type as cotton-like fabric, fabric-like cotton, excuse me, you want to make sure that you change the tool to ratchet blade, okay? If you choose auto blade, it's going to start tapping this and it's not going to adjust it because this is not an adjustable blade. Okay, so we're all set. We're going to load our mat in, okay? And then you're going to go back to Silhouette Studio and you're going to tell it to cut. You're going to send it to cut. Now, I already did that one time. I just did it before, so I had an example to show you. So I'm just going to click repeat job, and it's going to cut. But I want to show you how easy it is to cut. I'm going to come back around so you can see. I mean, look at this tail. This is super small, and it cut it really nicely. Now, yes, it has little stuff up here, but once I apply this to a shirt or wherever, and then wash it, it's going to come right out, okay? Now again, if you wanted to cut this without the heat and bond on the back, it's the same process. Then you would just have your piece of material and you could use it however you wanted. Like if you were trying to cut paper or make fabric flowers or something like that, you could do it that way without the heat and bond on the back. Okay, now I want to show you, can you see how easy this is? This is what I do before I take my mat out of the Cameo. Every time I cut, I always peel up a bottom corner and make sure, did it cut? Yep, it cut. If it didn't, leave it there and click that repeat job or click start again so it cuts again. All right, but watch this. Okay, so that is how great this can cut fabric. Look how small this is. I mean, really, it's very, very easy. Now, what are you going to do with this? Well, let me go get a onesie. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. Okay, I didn't get a onesie. I grabbed this shirt that I messed up on for Olivia. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how you put this on here. Now, what I typically would do is probably make an outline, like out of HTV, and make a border around it, and I have tutorials on that. If you want to combine HTV with fabric, like with a frame, you can get a tutorial on that. But let me just show you how easy this is to apply. Okay, flatten it out. All right, this piece is still kind of damp and hanging out, but we could always press it more, heat it more, and it would stiffen so we could cut it. Let's just give this a couple seconds. All right, and that applies right to that. Now that applied to it because, like I said, we put the heat and bond on the back, but that's just an option, so there you go. All right, now I have to say I'm pretty impressed with myself that I had this all coordinated and I didn't mess up one time. Can't wait to tell Bob, because he, you know, I mean, anyway, do you guys think that's awesome that I didn't? I was like, surely I'm going to trip over this light, or surely they will see the mess of cords that is behind, or surely they will see that the light is awful, or something will happen. But it worked. It's Friday. That's what a second cup of coffee will do, I guess. All right, guys, I hope you have a fabulous weekend. Head over to the blog. There's a whole set, 14 free Thanksgiving type things that you can use for photo props or stickers or however you want to use them. They're all free today. I hope you have a fabulous weekend, and I will see you on Monday.